Hi, my name is Melinda Martin and I'm a physiotherapist at MQ Health, and today in this wellness series I'm going to be talking about exercise mythbusters. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is walking 10,000 steps a day. So having a daily step goal is emerging as a popular method of increasing physical activity levels around the world. But do we really need 10,000 steps a day? So the number 10,000 steps was developed as an alternative recommendation for the 150 minutes or 2.5 hours of physical activity at moderate intensity per week, which is the national guidelines. This is because when compared, 10,000 steps a day generally had the same amount of energy expenditure and health benefits as other forms of moderate intensity physical activity when completed for the 30 minutes a day. For some people, they would meet the recommendations with less steps. Some people takes a little bit more, depending on their build and how fast they're walking. So generally speaking, in terms of public health, the daily step goals appear to be much more achievable than the 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity per week, and walking is very practical, accessible, and a suitable form of exercise for most people. It's also very easy to monitor, and it encourages people to reduce the amount of sedentary activities and break up long periods of sitting, which we know has its own health risks, even when you are doing the right amount of physical activity. So there are lots of studies that show many benefits to regular walking and doing 10,000 steps a day, including a better body composition, improved blood pressure control, better lipid profiles, improved heart health, and a reduced risk of diabetes, all of which are comparable benefits to most forms of physical activity. So to clarify, 10,000 steps a day is equivalent to the national guidelines of the minimum amount of physical activity that should be met by most adults for improved mental and physical health. Speed of walking and how often you move do have an impact on your health. But if you are doing other forms of moderate or vigorous physical activity throughout your week, you don't need to do 10,000 steps a day. For example, if you're strength training, cycling, swimming, or doing various other sports that don't add up to 10,000 steps a day, but do meet or exceed the recommendations of physical activity, this is more than enough, and you'll be getting more than, if not the same amount of benefit. So if you are doing less than the recommended, just remember that something is better than nothing. So the next one is stretching before a workout. So according to the evidence that's available, static stretching actually does very little for us when done prior to a workout. There's no evidence that it reduces injury risk or that it improves performance. Some studies actually say that static stretching prior to a workout can even negatively impact performance by decreasing speed, agility, and power in the short term. However, this impact would be minimal. Static stretching does have its place, and it is useful, particularly in rehabilitation when the goal is to improve range of motion. Prior to a workout, you're better off doing a general warm-up, incorporating skills and movements that are involved in the sport, and even doing some dynamic stretching or moving through range that you'll be using during the activity. So for example, running, landing practice, ball skills, and lunges would be good examples. And the FIFA 11 warm-up is also a good example of what should be done prior to a workout or prior to a specific sport or athletic event, where you can see they actually have some exercises incorporated into the warm-up that are strength exercises, as well as balance and plyometrics that are specific to the sport. And this is designed for performance and injury prevention. And these principles can be applied to any kind of warm-up. If you are doing a warm-up for something such as strength training, a good warm-up can even simply be doing about 50% of the weight that you'll be doing as your workout weight. You could also just use body weight or go through the motions. In regards to injury prevention around sport, running or high intensity workouts, you're better off spending your time strengthening rather than stretching. And on the other hand, if you're not focused on athletic performance and you love stretching and you've always done this, you can carry on doing so. There's no harm to it. So to conclude this topic, you can stretch before a workout, however, it's not necessary. So the next one I'm sure we've all heard before is no pain, no gain. So it's commonly been said that in order to get results from a workout, you need to be pushing through physical pain or to be sore following a workout, hence the saying, no pain, no gain. However, whether you are trying to build strength, increase muscle mass, lose weight, or improve general health, the research shows that you do not need to be in physical pain during or after the workout to achieve your goals. You don't always need to feel the burn to see improvements, and you don't always need to have muscle soreness after your workout to know that you are improving. Whatever your goal may be, it's important to have other measures to focus on rather than the pain or discomfort that you're feeling during a workout. A good way to measure improvements is to keep track of the weights you are lifting, how many reps you are able to do, how far you can run, and what pace you can run. So over time, you should start to feel that the weight you're using will be easier, you can do more reps, or you might be able to run further in a short amount of time. You could also use an RPE scale where you rate how hard you feel like you're working. So we use the Borg RPE scale, which you can see on the screen in our clinic. And depending on your goals and what activity you're doing, we generally recommend people work at the somewhat hard to hard level. And it's not always necessary and not always safe to be working at maximal exertion. It's also important to remember that rest is just as important as the workout. So during your workout, make sure that you have good rest breaks as needed, and between workouts, give yourself enough time to recover. So for example, for a strength workout, you're looking at about 48 hours between training the same muscle group. And in regards to injuries and rehabilitation, pain is also not something that is required in order to get better. Don't feel the need to push through your pain, particularly if you suspect something is not right or you already have a known injury. The last thing you want to do is make it worse. So if you're unsure of the pain you're experiencing, if it's concerning, or if you should be continuing with your exercises, the best thing to do would be to speak to your doctor or your physio about it. There's no reason why your exercises shouldn't be an enjoyable, fulfilling, and welcomed part of your day. We know that people who enjoy the exercise they do are much more likely to stick to it, which is better for you in the long term. So the next one is cardio is the only way to lose weight. So in order to effectively lose weight, you do need to be in an energy deficit, meaning that you're essentially burning more calories than you're intaking. So many factors will impact your ability to lose weight, not only what you're eating, how much you're eating, the exercise that you're participating in, but also factors such as genetics, medication, environmental factors, mental health, and stress. And it's important to consider all of these when you are trying to lose weight. Cardio training such as running, walking, cycling, swimming, cross-training, and HIIT workouts are all well known to burn calories. They get the heart rate up, they often involve the whole body, and you feel fatigued by the end of your workouts. But it's important to know that this is not the only way to lose weight. Every form of exercise will burn calories and have similar benefits, and in fact, it would even be more beneficial to supplement this with some form of resistance training. So resistance training or strength training can effectively reduce body fat, and it's actually very important for a number of reasons. People should also include resistance training into their weekly regime. During strength training, you're still burning calories and utilizing the energy stores in your body. Not only this, but you're getting the added benefit of getting stronger and building muscle mass, which we do know has many benefits, including improved bone health. The more muscle mass we have, the more energy we will burn at rest while doing cardio-based exercises. So someone once explained this to me with an analogy, and I'm going to try and replicate that now. So if we're thinking of a fireplace, the cardio is the fire. It burns things, and strength training is like the coal. We're shoveling coal into the fire. The more coal that you shovel into the fire, the bigger and longer it will burn for, and the more it will burn when the fire goes out as well. So it will continue to burn. The less coal you have, the less fire you'll burn. Therefore, the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you'll burn while exercising, and the more calories you'll burn at rest. So therefore, making it easier to lose weight and maintain health. It doesn't mean you need to lift weights. Resistance training can be anything that adds resistance to your body. So this could include banded exercises and Pilates, which has become very increasingly popular. So the last one we have is lifting heavy weights will make you bulk. So there's a common misconception that lifting weights will cause you to gain weight or bulk up. I'm here to tell you that you won't get bulky by just lifting weights. Bulking up and building lean muscle requires a lot more contributing factors than just lifting heavy weights, and it certainly doesn't happen by accident. In order to increase size and muscle mass, you need to be in a calorie surplus. And not only this, but you need to have a high protein intake and generally healthy diet. People that are trying to increase size and muscle mass will often have a much higher frequency and intensity of training. For example, bodybuilders and weightlifters will often strength train 5 to 6 times a week at quite a high intensity, with the intent of either building muscle or building strength. And so their programs and their diets are specifically designed for that purpose. The physical activity guidelines do recommend some form of strength training, so a minimum of 2 times per week. However, you could train up to 5 times per week and still get the benefit of strength training without necessarily getting bulky. Strength training will improve strength and muscle mass, but as I previously mentioned, you'll also be burning energy during your workout and likely burning more energy at rest, meaning it could even result in you losing weight. Now, it is true that muscle does weigh more than fat when at the same proportions. Therefore, the number on the scale could also potentially increase if you start strength training for the first time. But it's not a bad thing, as your body shape will likely be changing, the centimetres around your waist will likely decrease, and your body fat percentage will also likely decrease. Therefore, it's a good change. So lifting heavy weights is a great way to create a lean and athletic physique and reap the benefits that come with being stronger, such as improved bone health, heart health, blood sugar control, improved mental health, reduced risk of injury and morbidity, and overall improved quality of life, and many more. So that wraps up my exercise Mythbusters for today. Thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful.